What's good, people? It's Jagilsdorf coming back at you with another video. Today I wanted to talk about, just some of the standards that I go through. So these are my standards. Sometimes if I'm feeling fancy, I really want to do this more because I think it looks cooler. I'll come into custom and I'll change up my settings. We're in Final Cut, by the way. And I'll change up some of my settings, and maybe we'll do 1920 by 823. And these aren't just random numbers. You can look into aspect ratios and CinemaScope, and I'll link some stuff in the description that you might want to check out. And it's kind of cool. There's reasons why, but yeah, we're just gonna stick to 1080p HD, Apple ProRes 220 422. I can't read. Make sure this is 48. That's just what I do. You probably could do 44.1. I'm pretty sure YouTube's going to change it anyway. This is actually not the standard. This is, but since I've been doing 48 for so long, I'm just going to do 48. But typically I'm recording the audio inside of Audacity anyway. 44.1. So I guess it doesn't really matter. So I don't really care. There's probably some reasons why you would want to, put it onto this or put it on the other one. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But yeah. Anyway, I also do 23.98 because that is usually what I am filming in, and there's also reasons as to why I do that, mainly because you can have a lower shutter speed, which means you don't need nearly as much light, which means there's less noise because you don't have to have as much ISO, and it just looks cooler. But yeah, so that is the start. Now I have several folders that I already have opened up. We have my Logic folder because that is the primary music application that I use. You could use GarageBand; it's free. I would recommend it, but if you're into music like I am, definitely buy Logic. It is worth the time and money to learn and use. If you can practice with GarageBand, and then a lot of the things in Logic is just like a step up from. It's like GarageBand 2.0. Then I have a folder that I call Temp Audio, and this is just where I save all of my audio that I record from Audacity, because then I do post audio sync, which you're going to see in a second. And then we have my typical 2020 vlog video folder, where I just put literally everything into here every single year and just kind of keep it as sorted as possible. As you can see, it's already starting to get a little junked up. And then I have a folder full of all my OG footage stored on my OneDrive. So, we come into January, and we're going to find one of the videos that I was going to do. I believe it was this one. Just spacebar that. As you can see, there's a lot of things that come into play when you're making videos. It can be tiring at times. But yeah, so we come in, I drag this in. I usually do the footage first, and you'll see why in a second. Because then when I come in and I drag in the audio, which I always name the same file. My camera's going to name that as 1049. So I named the audio 1049 to make it easier for myself. Right? And then I drag it in. And right after I do that, I label these red. Because then I know that when I go to do my clean out cycles, I can be like, yeah, I already did that. Those are done. Like, I believe there's a temp on. Yeah, this one's long done. Goodbye. Okay. Now, like I was telling you before in some of my other videos, I do like claps or snaps, and this is why right here. I always do more than one, and this is why I put in the video first, because the audio is always shorter, because I start the video and then I start the audio, as you can see here, right? Drag that. You want to see, as you can see, the video is capturing more audio than the microphone is, and I believe that's because of the fact that the camera is going to pick up the echoes of the room, where my microphone, this bottom audio, is only picking up like my actual snap. It's not really picking up much of the echo of the room, but you kind of just look for these peaks and these valleys, and you just want to line them up to the best of your ability. A good self-check is to go to the end of the entire project and text out and check out your peaks and valleys at the end. See how freaking close those are? Ooh. Those are really close. I mean, they could be a little closer. That's dead on. So then I mute this, because otherwise you're just gonna hear like 3 of me at the same time. And then I come into the audio. Now you're gonna want to go into effects, come over into levels, and I drag on a compressor, and I drag on a limiter, and I don't waste any time with this. I really don't. I probably should, but I don't. I put on a vocal compressor, I leave the limiter as defaults. Sometimes if I'm not feeling lazy, I'll come in, I'll throw an equalizer on, I'll take out just a little bit of the lows, like just about those areas, like, you know, -3 in the 64, -5, -6 in the 32 range. And that's just because my voice is a little bassy. Yeah, my bass is a little voicey, and yeah, sometimes I just want to take that out because I feel like it's a little too overpowering. But anyway, now we can come into the actual video, and I look for where I do my little what's good.
What's good?
And
What's
that's going to be where my first chop is. Oops, I hit T. Select all, Command B,
what's good?
and X that out. Then you drag this thing in, and there's reasons why I do that. It's because then it removes like clicks and pops. Literally, anytime you chop the audio, you really should be doing that, because then it'll make sure that the edge of the audio is at 0 volume. So yeah, if you're hearing a bunch of clicks and pops, do that. It'll get rid of it instantly.
What's good, people?
Now that is enough syncing for me, I go ahead and I Alt-G that, and yeah, now it's all one video, so it's a lot easier to slice and dice when you're dealing with audio. There's probably a way for me to like make it one without doing that. There might be an easier way to do all this actually, but this is just what I do. It didn't take me that long, I guess. I don't know. Now let's go ahead and do some color correction. I mean, I don't really spend much time doing all this jazz. I just do this. Oops. No. Do 5% for all of them and change that to 20. It's like literally it. And then I just change my saturation to 44%. And then I take my exposure and I do -3 on the shadows and 3 on the 3 on the highlights. This just brings a little bit more definition into things like the wrinkles, because I wear a lot of black and I have a lot of black gear. So yeah. Was it +3? Yeah, it's +3 and then -3. That's what I typically do, but I think I'm gonna do the other way because that actually looks cooler. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna change my styles, because that looks like way better. I think there's a little bit too much saturation. Let's try like 30. Yeah, I always have like severe banding going on, as you can probably see now when I'm scrubbing through my video. Those like horizontal bars. That's from the lighting and the shutter speed. Yeah, that's called banding. You can look into how to remove that. I don't care enough to remove it right now. I have like 150 subscribers, so the cost of making that better. Look at that little glitch in my eye. The cost of making that better is just not worth it. Yeah, then I go through and I slice and dice the entire freaking project file, and the second I'm done with that, I head over to Epidemic, and I already have a bunch of sound files saved somewhere. I'm still getting used to Epidemic. I usually write my own music for my own videos, but lately I've been being lazy, as you can tell from this like whole video. Why aren't my favorites loading? There we go. Yeah, I have a Sarah playlist because I love Sarah the Instrumentalist. You should check her stuff out. But yeah, this is my favorites. Just grab really anything from here. This is just all the music that I listen to. What's this video about again? I think I'm talking about sales funnels, honestly, because I'm lame.
What's good, people? Today I just wanted to briefly talk about sales funnels.
Yeah, you freaking weirdo. Of course you want to talk about money. I like Dylan sits. Way too energetic for this. I could mess with wavy. Now, what I do with that, so let's just pretend for sake of this video that I already went through and I sliced and diced this whole project like I did with you musicians over here, right? So once it's sliced and diced, we got all your chops, right? And then you just make it clean, you clean it up. And once I'm done, then I add the music. So here's what I do to add the music. We're just gonna pretend that's sliced. I take the song, what do I do? Want to do wavy? Yeah. So Wavy by Silver, shut up. Wavy by Silverflaw. I go over and I search it. Why? Oh, but it was right there, James. Why do you search it? Well, here's why. Because for whatever reason, when it's in the playlist, it doesn't tell me the BPM, and I'm too lazy to figure it out myself, even though it really isn't that hard. So then I go ahead and I download that full mix. Go ahead and back up. Where's Wavy? Remove from my playlist because it's going to end up in my download history anyway, so I don't need it in my playlist. Then I go over into Logic. Get out of here. I just open up an empty project file. You don't need anything. Bring this into here like that. As you can see, is very tiny. It's not a lot of time. Now the video that we're working with is... it's going to be less than, but it's going to be about a 4-minute video or so, so we're going to need at least 4 minutes of this song, and I always start the whoa, too much. I always like to start it right here. Oh yeah, and this is why. 90, see? Nice and easy. Now we're going to just drag this out. Come on, where are you? What the hell? Where is the drag thing? That was weird. And of course, Silverflaw's only flaw is that they didn't really time up their beat very well. So now I kind of have to do it myself. I just want to get it as close as I can to having that thump be on that 5. So that if I were to theoretically make a loop right here and play it from over here, that should loop perfectly. It's going to because I have the right tempo anyway, so I don't really care again. Anyway, again, this is what I was talking about earlier, where just because if you're starting out, this is a great example of what I was talking about. If I, oh, perfect. You see that little chunk? See how it's not beginning? Not always, it just doesn't always like want to be where it's supposed to be. Sometimes it's right there. You see how like right in that little crevice, the squiggly line isn't with the flat line? Technical terms for you. If you had a squiggly line not with the flat line like that, and then you didn't have like a gradual like increase like that, it has a click. So it's subtle because it's not loud right there. But like if it was like a loud part of the song, like right here, and like we zoom way into where the squiggly line's not flat, like see it's flat right there, but it's not flat right there. So actually while we're here, we might as well just do that, because it sounds better. Okay, you can look into it as to why it sounds better, but it just does. Okay, I think it's like DC offset. I don't really know, I just know what it does. Anyway, so then where does the song end? Like right here. Okay, so then I literally just alt drag that and overlap it right there. And then you just do one of these. You command click when you have this thing on, and then you drag it over top, both of them. You could probably put it over here. Oh, see how that just sounds so good. Listen to that again. Does that hit on the 49? Doesn't look like it hits on the 49. Looks like it hits close to the 49. I guess it hits on the 49. I don't care. It's background music. I do actually care though, if you didn't know. This one's gonna get dragged right about there-ish. And then we just gotta zoom back in and do a little swoosh. It just makes it sound nice. And we just need at least 4 minutes, because the project file is less than 441, because I'm gonna chop it up. I haven't chopped it up yet. Remember we talked about that. Gotta chop it up. But yeah, it's gonna be less than 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes. So we just need at least this much. This not enough, so I just do another one on there. So good enough. Click that, so it selects all of them. Right. One was selected. Click that. They're all selected. Command B for bounce. We got PCM, AIFF, because you know we're about that awesomeness. 16-bit, the 440, yeah, and then this and this. Offline, because we don't have enough time to do real time. I don't ever include the audio tail because I'm not about that life. I always normalize. Don't need to add it to the project, and I don't need to add it to the Apple Music app because this isn't a song, right? And I'm bouncing it out as output 1 and 2 because I really don't even care about the name. Because literally, once I publish this video to YouTube, I don't care about it. Bouncing it out into bounces, I already have a file in there named that from the last video I did, so I'm going to replace that. While I wait for that, I'm going to literally go into Finder and find where that file is, and you notice it says temp, and then it's done. Like perfect timing. Then we come back into Logic with our file, we drag that little bad boy in there, zoom the hell out. Come on. Bring this to the beginning, zoom back in, and where's that kick start? Like right here? Right. Well, now what I always do, just because I like to be fancy like that, is I make the kick start right where I say what's good. Just because I like that. So this is the what's. There's my kick. What's good? See, it just sounds cool to me, right? I'm a musician. I like that. Then I come into the audio, get out of here, and I say -20, because that sounds good usually.
What's good, people? Today I just wanted to briefly talk.
Let me turn that up so you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it on the mic.
What's good, people?
See?
Well, today I just wanted to briefly talk about sales funnels and like how you can utilize this very, very basic concept to help grow your business, grow your channel, grow.
See, it just sounds nice. Let's see if I can find an example where I'm not talking. See, I'm literally looking off to my whiteboard. Just sitting there licking my lips. Like,
I see it as.
And I wanted to check, because I have notes written over there. So I Command B that, and then we find out where I go back into talking.
You have.
And we Command B that, X that out. Command X, I always do Command X, by the way. That's like a little trick I should show you, actually. Is now that I have my clip that I don't want in there, right? We were talking, then blah, then I was back to talking. Well, if you delete it, it's going to put that thing in there. And I don't know why it puts that thing in there. So I just Command exit, and it gets rid of it completely. It doesn't mess with the project or any of the settings or anything like that. Sometimes if that's in there, and then you delete it, and then you try to delete this thing, it just doesn't delete no matter how many times you click the delete key. You could just click that and then Command X that, and that works. Or you could just like zoom all the way out and just put it like at the end of the project or something. I don't know, but I don't waste any time with that. I just, once I know I don't want this, I Command exit, and then I zoom in just a little bit here, and typically I will drag this in every single clip, just like that, like every single clip, because it'll, like, if you chop your stuff up a lot, you're going to start to notice there's going to be clicks and pops, and then you're going to export it, and you're going to do like a final listen before you upload, and you're going to notice there's clicks and pops throughout your whole project, and you got to go back and you got to fix every single clip. So yeah, don't do that.
It as you have the unaware.
See, and also when you drag this back and forth, you can see where those clips start and end. So, I mean, I usually just don't even worry about what you see. I worry more about the audio.
See it as.
See it as.
See it as. You have the
Come on, stop, pause. So I ended the sentence with as, so the as doesn't need to last as long. Like the S in as doesn't need to last forever.
I see it as. You have.
No, that's not long enough.
See it as. You have the.
Now I'm saying see it as. See it as.
I see it as.
See, I don't like that I looked away, right? So it's important when you make the video to make sure you finish your sentence before you do something like look away and check your notes or check your copy. Yeah, but that's literally, I go through the entire video and I do that until I'm all the way back here. And then let's say, again, let's just say for the sake of time that we already did that.
Thanks for watching.
Right here, I say thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Peace. And right when I say peace,
Peace.
I go and I put a, find where the P is, you can see that P. That's a P.
Peace.
Right there. That beginning is a P. Right there, I will go and I click one of these things, and then I find out where the S is in the piece.
Peace.
Whoa. Zoom in. Zoom out just a little bit, actually.
Peace.
Right about there. And put another one, and we say -5. Because now it's time to make that music come back in.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.
Okay, and if by chance, if I mention, you know, I always look at the footage to see, because sometimes I'll like gesture to this side of the screen and say, yeah, go check out these videos and subscribe to this thing up in this corner. And sometimes I do that, and if I do that, that means at whatever moment you make that, you have 20 seconds to end the video. Because you have to end the video in 20 seconds, otherwise you can't, your end screen can only last 20 seconds. So that's just a little pro tip for you. So then wherever that moment is where it finally goes black, I trim it. Right, so not black, black. And you can double check that by grabbing that edge. We're grabbing that edge, and it'll show you both clips. Then I drag that audio down because I no longer need the audio, because that's unnecessary audio. And I fade that out.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, that's way too much fade out. Okay, and then I really am only going to have this go on for a few seconds, so I listen to the song. Where does the song sound like a good stopping point would be? Right about there. X that, B, X. Ah. Start it over. If it plays through, just click before you pause it. If you pause it, then it's gonna go back. Slow. Okay, maybe we'll go out to the next frame.
What's good, people? Today I just wanted to...
Okay, then I come into my last video because I'm lazy again, and I just copy this little purple thing over here, because that little purple thing is a custom text. So for you guys who are creating this from scratch, you're gonna have to go into text over here, and you're gonna have to say titles, and you say cust, and then you're gonna drag in a custom, and then I just format it similar to this. If you want to check out my settings, you can do so, and then you can do what you do best over there. Yeah. And we drag that, and this is why I clipped that, just because then it's easier for me to find it later, so that the music pops up. Well, that's the music from the last video, so we want to make sure that we fix that. So once we've timed up everything here, tick, I don't need to extend that. We'll have that end right there, and that'll end right before it. Anyway, so now we come into here and we pull this up, we get rid of this middle line, and we come back into Logic, and I just double click right here because it always will have the name right there, because that's just how Epidemic Sounds does it. So we just copy that, we put it right there, and then we just make that size a little bit bigger. And I always try to make sure that I have just about half the amount of screen, you know, dedicated to those videos that are going to be there, because when I have my end card pop up, that's how it is going to be. So that is pretty much how I will go about editing my videos. And then if you want to check out the other video as to how I edit my thumbnails, you can check that out. Thank you for watching this extensive tutorial. Tune in next Tuesday for another tutorial. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.